in academic classrooms. So please make sure that we know who they are.
Okay, so what is not permitted? So dictionaries and thesaurus may not be used. Glossaries or any other reference materials may not be used. Students may not receive reading assistance, including text-to-speech. Test questions and answer choices may not be paraphrased, clarified, or read to students. And test questions, answer choices may not be translated. Listening selections, reading, and selections may not be translated. Okay? So these are the things that are not permitted. Okay, so reading and writing audio. So I have linked here the Telcos and reading writing practice tutorial, and it has videos that you can watch to get the students to practice, but a lot of us have already started practicing that reading. So if an assessment has multimedia features, there will be an audio playback and recording device checks that must be completed before a student can start their test, so we have to check those audios. For TELPAS, reading and writing audio playback device check will be required for all students. For students with an SST, STT, both audio playback and recording device checks will be required. Okay, so if the students have an SST, then they will get the recording and the playback. Okay, questions on this? Okay, so before testing, so same thing that we're gonna do for SMC, right, and STAR. You'll come and collect your bins. You will have the test manual, the roster of students scheduled to test. You will get a test session ID. So we had our reading 3 to 5 field tests, and we got to practice with those. So you will get those in a Ziploc bag, and they are laminated. You will have the student test tickets, any blank graphic organizers, scratch paper, and the seating charts will be in the blue bin, the blue folder in the bin. Okay, testing bin. So, like I said, the testing tickets are laminated. For TELPAS, I do want to, we have the Ziploc bag with the test tickets inside. So any students that do not, are not tested, of course, are left over. But you would put those on the right side. So I'm gonna have a left and a right. So the ones on the right, and I'm gonna label it, those are the students that are absent or not tested, okay? Headsets, headphones, microphones, and keyboards. So we have our headsets, and for listening and speaking, we have our headsets with the little mic. And if our kids do not test on iPads, but they will test on their Chromebooks. Testing headsets counted and will be placed in the bin. When done, roll the cord and place them back in the bin. Okay? Questions on that? Yes.
Can the students bring their own headset? Most of my students have their own headset.
No.
No.
Well,
Do they have a speaker?
Like,
they have the mic. The only thing that I'm worried is that, I mean, I could place an extra, but
directional microphones to reduce outside noise.
ours?
Yeah, and that's the kind that are on ours, or they're unidirectional microphones. And so we aren't sure what quality of microphone would be coming from those headsets.
Can you test them? Can you test them
yeah, we do.
with the
Practice.
online practice?
Yep.
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
You know, check it out and see what happens.
They'll still give you your count for your class, and then if I just
Only one that doesn't have one. Yeah, but most of them they got their own.
with the mic.
The mic.
Okay.
What about those keyboards that are missing parts? In that last test that we did, that field, there was even like some letters that were not the correct ones.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to get with Miss Hartman. And another thing that when we did the field test, That's why we need to go into the test website, because during the field test, we had some tech issues where they weren't updated, and it was a whole different issue than just us updating. It was like a whole district thing. So you need to make sure that they are able to go into the testing website and be able to use the listening and speaking before we start rolling it out and start testing. That way we can get with Ms. Hartman and we can send those ID numbers to the district, because it was just out of our control. And well, if you have any Chromebooks that are missing any keys or anything, we need to put in a ticket now, and then we'll get with Ms. Hartman.
They won't get replaced, and so you need to charge those students that are damaging. So, you guys should, I know that in the beginning of the school year, we asked you guys to assign those computers to each individual student. Because if we get damaged like that, we need to know who needs to pay for them. So, if you do not, because we don't have extra computers just lying around. So, we need to ensure that we know whose computer it is, so that we can actually charge them for it. The district does not have computers to replace them either.
Alright, so this will be also linked, so you have your Topaz tutorial videos, and it just shares with you how to get on there. Alright, so we have these are forms that you can look back, and if there's any small tech issues, you can use this as a reference before you call us. It gives you a breakdown of where to go for your test and what app, or how to restart it, reset it if you need to. These will be in the blue folder, okay? And I just made those nice and big. Alright, so this one, test administrators must verify when students are logged in the screen that the test settings show correctly. This will prevent accommodation irregularities. If something is not correct, do not allow the student to proceed. Okay, so once you let them start the test, and if it's on the wrong language or whatever, once you already started the test, it's already an irregularity. Okay, so we need to catch that before. So that's why we're doing laps as we're testing. So you get into the sign-in screen, you're gonna walk around to each student, and you're gonna say, okay, what got them on their screen. Once you do that, you're gonna pass out your test ticket. You're gonna pass the test ticket. That's another round. Okay, and you're gonna ask them if that's their test ticket. Okay, so lap 2. Then you're gonna give them their session ID. It has to be it's sensitive, so if it doesn't work the first time, try again. Then that'll be your third lap. And then your last lap, you're gonna go around, and it says, is this you? So you're gonna go around, check their screen to see if that has their name and the test that they're testing on. Do you understand that?
Is that the first, is that the mock, or is that the real one?
No, this is Topaz, the real one.
That's the real one?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
So,
Do they have a mock one? Like a
mock.
pretend, like a practice, like a,
Practice, just one practice.
do they have,
Somebody-
or does it? Oh, okay.
Well, when they get onto the practice test website, it looks exactly, but it'll say practice, so that they don't get to type in anything. But they can play it out. It's the green screen, but you can kind of play it out. Okay, everyone. Okay, class, let's go into the app, because you can get in the app and then just check their screens to get them to practice that. So that way you tell your class, okay, so when we're starting the test, you're staying with the whatever the proctor is saying. So the proctor says get on the testing screen, that's where you're at. You're not moving ahead and ahead and ahead. Okay?
My opinion is,
Yes.
you have two sections. One is for practice, one for release test. The release test give you the whole thing. You can really see how they are on the release.
On the
release
to
test.
get
23, 24, and 22, 23, they are there.
Okay. So that way you guys do like the practice practice real one, right? So this one thing here is that your kids need to know which is the practice screen and which is the real screen, okay? So the green screen is your practice site, okay? So they might have clicked on the wrong button and now they're on the practice site. So if you have, when you're walking around, you're doing your laps and you see a green screen, that means they're on the wrong one. They went on the practice link. They need to have all blue screens. Okay, so breaks and pauses. So just like STAR, they can have bathroom breaks, water breaks. We're not going to do snack breaks. We can have a small mental break, short. And then pauses would be when we go to lunch. Because that's the only pause that we would have. Or if there's an emergency, and we have to just redo that. Questions on this? Okay, students who become ill. So students cannot finish their test due to illness should go out of the test. Do not click and test button. Okay? Test administrators should document and on the the seating chart, the time that they have done that. And students may resume testing upon the return within the assessment window. So do not have them submit it, okay? And then on the side where it says notes, you would just note that. And one thing that I do want to say is that some students do have test anxiety. We've seen that. So talk to your students, practice some breathing or something to relax. Because we have a lot that just all go to the nurse because they're nervous and they feel nauseous. So, okay. So when the student reaches the end, a confirmation message will appear indicating the student has ensured all questions in the test. So they get several stages before they actually submit. So they'll get, and they might get a flag. That means that they have to go and make sure they answer that. Then it's going to ask you, are you sure you want to submit? And then you will have your actual end page. Okay? So make sure that they have clicked through and you have the results page on there. Okay? That's when you would, once you get that screen, you would go note that time on the seating chart. Okay, almost done here. After testing, so we collect all our materials just like we've been collecting them. The testing tickets, the test session. Our 3rd grade through 5th grade did see it on the field test. I printed out, and then that is going to be the session ID you write on the board for your group. Once you're done, you need to erase it. Okay, make sure that you erase that, and then you keep that test session paper with this number inside the folder, and that comes back to me. All scratch paper, like we've been doing, goes back in the bin and the headphones. Questions on this? Alright, so this is our training. TA deadline is tomorrow, so we did that. Anyone participating in the test administration is required to attend this training. All testing personnel must sign a test oath, security oath, so make sure you have your oath, you signed it, and then also you need to make sure that you sign in the sign-in sheet. So we have our campus training, our meeting sign-in, which is by the door, you sign that, and your LMS modules, you guys already did the beginning of the test security training at the beginning of the year, and these are the topics that we went over, so check, okay? Your oaths here, so I put a little X on the ones that you do not sign. Our seating charts, same thing with SMC.
Pues,